What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Last time, we got stuck in our investigation, unfortunately. Again, hate doing that because this is supposed to be blind. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do in order to just not be bashing your head against a wall for hours on end and making no progress. But at the very least, we managed to get through the Cyclops, found the missing puppet, and reunited Ben with his puppet. And Trilo is probably one of the rudest people here. And whoo boy, is this just getting more and more complicated and more yikesy. In this episode, we gotta go to Mo because a monkey stole our badge. So let's go ahead and head on over to the plaza. Gumshoe's not here? Huh, Detective Gumshoe took off already. Yeah, probably because we ditched him earlier. I bet he and the other cops got lonely and headed back to the precinct. Well, alright. Well, it wasn't like there was anything much that he was doing for us. Oh my! If it isn't Mr. Right all the time! Ugh. It's alright to be wrong every now and then, right? See, Nick, it just took a while for the joke to find its audience. So, what can I do for you? Do you remember a good joke you wanted to tell me? No, excuse me, I got a burp in there at the end. Pull up a chair, or maybe just pull my finger and let me have it. We're going to get the same sound effect either way, aren't we? How'd you know I put a whoopee cushion on the chair? You really know what it takes to be a clown, don't you? Okay, do you know where this... Actually, yeah, what can you tell us about Regina first? So about Regina... Regina is such a pure, innocent child. She's such a cutie, too. She was born and raised in the circus, you know? But that means she doesn't really know much about the world outside the big top. Sounds like Pearly. For her, every child's dream of the circus is her everyday reality. She lives in a dream world. She sees dancing wild animals, men flying in the air, and one very funny clown every day. The funny thing is, that all seems normal to her because it is her everyday life. I guess that explains why she thinks she can marry a ventriloquist's puppet. That is actually a really good point. If your vision of normal is very skewed from what's typically considered normal, then yeah, whatever is normal in your reality isn't going to faze you when everyone else is going, what? I mean, most of the time you kind of hear that, sadly, in more abusive relationships, but even more just kind of out there, or I guess not as tragically or kind of weirdly, would be just different cultures in general. Yeah, things that are normal in one culture might be seen as odd in another. Case in different countries. I guess in this case it's a circus. Don't ask me if her reality is a good thing or a bad thing, though. A clown sees life simply without complications. Okay, what can you tell us about the monkey? Where'd he run off to? Have you ever heard of a monkey named Money? Ah, yes, Money! He stole my attorney's badge. Well, Money does love shiny objects. It makes sense that he'd swipe your badge. But under no circumstances can you chase after him. Huh? Why's that? Oh, I know! You don't want to get involved in any monkey business, right? Exactly! Bravo, bravo! Enough joking around, though. Money isn't considered a member of Regina's family. Then who does he belong to? I'll be happy to take you to where his owner is staying. You mean right now? Of course! Shall we go? There's another person in the circus that we haven't met yet. Should we go for now or wait a while? We don't have anywhere else to go. The heck's with the tuba? Acro? This is it. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? I can't breathe. Don't be such a wimp. You only had to climb 2 flights of stairs. Anyways, this is the place. Acro's room. Acro? He's an acrobat. It seems like he's not around today. Well, that's a big pile of junk over in the corner. Yeah, I don't think it'd be wrong to assume that Phoenix's stuff is over there too. Just be careful to make sure you've got the right stuff. Thanks, Mo. See you later. I'm sorry, the monkey is on the court. Also, the fact that there's an acrobat. There, at the very least, that puts in less pressure on Max. Because, oh, hey, guess what? There's someone else who can fly. Takes care of Acro. Eventually gathers all sorts of shiny objects. Weird that the monkey is evidence, but okay. I guess we'll figure that out soon enough. What about the bed? This bed is incredibly well made. It's almost like a maid made it up. Even the laundry on top of the bed's folded perfectly. Nick, there's nothing unusual about it at all. It's how things are supposed to be. Can a man respect another man for doing something said man cannot do? Phoenix, you can't. Well, to be fair, I can't exactly fold laundry right either. I have my own way of folding shirts, and it's most certainly not how most people would think that it's right. Kind of gets a bit more wrinkly than it really should. But whatever. What about this? What is that, a calendar? It's a monkey calendar. Whoever's in this room must really love monkeys. Maybe a little too much. Wow, I just realized that the year's almost over. Amazing how time flies. It's been one wild year. Especially the last part. Well, we still got one last person to help this year. Max. True that. Holy cow! There's a fork and a mirror. Everything's shiny. There's even a really cheap looking knockoff wristwatch. Look at this. It's a trophy. Oh, it's really heavy. Nick, I found it! Your badge! It's right here. Hey, there we go. Rightful spot on the lapel. Thanks. Oh, you really saved me. Huh? What's the matter? Did you find something? Yeah, check this out. It's a ring! There's something engraved on it. From T to R. Ooh, engagement ring? Ooh boy. From T to R, from Trilo to Regina. At least that's the immediate thought. I'm not sure if there would be anything else. I'm trying to think of other names, but that's the only one I can think of. Well, I think it's about time we wrap up our investigation. Do you think we'll win in court tomorrow? Who knows? Even I can't imagine what kind of testimony will come out tomorrow. I'm guessing Mo will be a witness in court tomorrow. Mo and maybe the puppet. Don't worry, Nick. No matter what, we've still got a magician on our side. That's good, because we might need some magic tomorrow. Okay, I'm actually not too disappointed that I had to cut up the investigation a little bit. And actually, I'm kind of glad that it kind of ended right here. But it does give us plenty of time to get into the actual court. So I'm going to save, and we're going to move on to the first day of the trial. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties! What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around in the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Also, that would prove that, you know, it kind of proves the case that you're the murderer, considering the lack of footprints, so do not do that. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. No, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Phoenix, no. No theatrics. I imagine you trying to do that and then Francisca just whips him out of the sky. Now the case of one... What? Your Honor, get on with it! Oh, sorry. I just realized the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So? Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. Huh. I wonder if that's to our advantage? Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Huh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count! Do you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance! Zero! Zilch! Never! I'm not losing this case! Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything! I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well, you may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe! Get up there, now! Gumshoe? Okay. Sorry to keep you from work. I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, detective, you may proceed with your testimony. All right, details of the events. The actual crime scene, I guess. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accepts this into evidence. Okay, time of death 10:15 due to blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Okay. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, well, I didn't notice anything really out of place with that, but when in doubt, press everything. Alright, so snow was falling until 9:40. So that does kind of rule out that snow would kind of cover any sort of footprints from the attacker. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about an inch and a half was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. Snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this. What's the matter, Nick? Let me take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? Is that seriously it? Crime photo. Inch and a half off the ground. Is it? That doesn't look too far out of place. Found the crime scene. And then it's blunt force trauma. So it was the blunt force trauma not freezing to death. That's weird. Like, Phoenix says it would be the snow, which the only thing that would be related to that would be this, but that doesn't look out of place to me. Especially since there's no snow falling on top of Russell. If there's snow on top of him, then yeah, that'd be a very easy contradiction. Let's just press everything, see if there's anything else. All the circus performers were gathered in the big top. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, and I almost forgot, Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Oh, that was Gumshoe's watch. Detective, you're welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. I mean, it's a cheap wristwatch. I don't think it would really do anything. Also, the acrobat isn't mentioned, so the acrobat wasn't even there at the time. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, practice broke up around 10. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room, tired from work. Ben, the ventriloquist, went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. Well, only we know that. The murder itself took place in the plaza, in front of the lodging house. Here, that's another thing. Let me take a look at the map. So it was in front of the lodging house, but the ringmaster's room is way over there. Like, honestly, Acro really seems like he's the most suspicious. And we don't even have a face for that yet. Unless the monkey was the murderer all along, which wouldn't that be a twist? But yeah, that's very interesting, because Max was holed up in the Ringmaster's room. The body is outside the lodging house, which is very far away. Okay, murder took place in front of the lodging house at 10:15. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Ah! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. Is it wooden? Doesn't look wooden to me. It looks like it's made of metal. Hard to really tell from that. That might just be a technicality. It's like, but technicalities might be contradictions. I don't think in this case it is. A wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? Huh. Okay, we got more evidence. The victim was hunched over. Okay, that is definitely wooden, so that was definitely a matter of just the picture being black and white. Victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. What's in the box? What's in the box? This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Do we know about the contents? Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Pepper. In a large, small, but heavy 20-pound box is a little tiny bottle of pepper? Where is this case going? Found inside the wooden box the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. Okay, well, we can go back. Can we, talk about the other stuff? Okay, we can. What about the box itself? This wooden box, you figure it weighs around 20 pounds, right? Sounds about right. The whole thing is lined with iron. Iron plating? Why do you think it's lined with iron? I figure they just did it to make the box heavier. I think we could all do without your guesses, detective. Stick to what little you actually know. Sorry. Suffice it to say, the box is really heavy. Much better. You may continue on, detective. Okay. There's one more thing that we can press on, and that's the lock itself. The fact that we can get evidence from that sort of thing tells me that we're gonna need to find a contradiction somewhere. Okay, what about the lock? You said the box was locked. How exactly was it locked? Well, it had quite a sturdy lock on it. Took quite a bit to open the bad boy up. So when you found the box, it was locked, correct? Yes, it was. Some of the forensics team took it back to the precinct to crack it open. I see. Continue, Detective Gumshoe. Okay, so the only thing of worth was the pepper part. But the last part is here. Cause of death was a blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his back. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it's something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously. But that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up is such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the Ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Okay, interesting. So we did just need to get the pepper part and that was it. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Trilo Quist. I am employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness called to the stand is one Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That role must be cut off for circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me. The world of law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence. Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? A good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up! Just look at your nose. You'd think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Somebody must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who the witness is! Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about the testimony. Getting testimony in my court. Ow! Sorry, I had to look at my recording software to get that. You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now, let's proceed. Okay, what did the puppet, aka Ben, see? Once practice was over, I left this tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one headed that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene. You're sure of that? Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat cloak and a dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown? That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why's that? Here is absolute proof. A silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today. When is she not? Okay. Was there anything that jumped out right away that was suspicious? I left with the clown. And Mo did say that he saw it from his window. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the entrance. That's when I saw Max heading toward the scene. He was the only one heading that way. And then the police showed up. Okay, nothing immediately jumping out, so let's press everything. The clown. You're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart! He's so pathetic, I can't stand him! Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup's all running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way of keeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack. Then what happened? I have time to call it a day here just because of time. Let's at least get through this testimony, and then we'll call it a day. Why the plaza's entrance? To do some thinking, of course! It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Objection! Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker! At least my teachers always said I was. Alright, that's when I saw Max. Actually, his face or just his getup? Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure! How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup? Get the wax out of your ears! Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. Thanks, Maya. Thanks a lot. He was the only one heading that way. How could he not be the killer? You saw Max and only Max. Right, Trilo? That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to the story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? I mean, there's Acro. There's no proof it was I mean, they're just gonna bring up the hat. Ben only saw That's a good point. Where was the ringmaster then? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? Oh, I don't know. How about the victim? That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Ah! Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that according to the defendant? A likely story. Gumshoe said so. If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? Ah! I see. It seems that at this stage, I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't even know anymore. Okay, thankfully that didn't actually cost us anything. Oh, that's interesting. It kind of brought us back to beginning there. Weird. So that was... And that could have actually cost us something there. Which is actually kind of frightening. But that didn't actually reveal anything. They just said, oh, according to the defendant. But it's like Gumshoe stated that. Unfortunately, none of the things that we have really show that. Then the police showed up and took Max away. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? I think it was around... I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why aren't you telling me anything extra? Why do you believe that we'd just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for... Well, maybe you were waiting for someone? What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Mr. Phoenix Light, we can all do without your offhanded theories. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright, who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night? Regina. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. Ah! You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well, well, well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Huh? All right. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. Ah! That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max at the scene. Ah! There is absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright, I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina. Pain! Don't volunteer things! Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose? What's the matter? You think the humans have a monopoly on marriage? The matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge! I mean, look at your horrible outfit! More pain! Huh. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Okay, let's get through this witness testimony and we're calling it a day. Don't be so surprised I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Okay, well that's a very obvious lie. You were going to propose. You. A puppet. Don't be so obtuse! Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love! I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. Judge, no! Don't make this any less creepy than it already is! Exactly! His honor's looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? Because this is very ridiculous. Anyway, next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. We have a very obvious lie that we can get him in, but we're still gonna just keep pressing everything and see what information we can squeeze out of Trilo. And by extension, Ben. Until next time, everyone, take care.